Hello, in this video I will swiftly explain to you how to proceed through the Kinetic Class Atlas and then talk a bit about your options on the General Ascension Atlas. So we start off on the left side and we'll move to the first intersection and then grab Stone Spear and Radodron. Going to the next intersection, I recommend then going for Principle of Inertia, doubling back and taking the northern route. Mostly because Stonewall is useless and this is a weaker bomb. We will end up needing Quantum Collapse, Protective Shield, Quantum Collapse as the better bomb, and then we want Quiescence anyway. So now you are at this point. Here it doesn't matter anymore if you take the eastern way or even go from the south. It will be the same distance or the same amounts of unlocks for Bouncer, Sledgehammer and Centrifuge. After that you can go for Seismic Explosion, probably from the north side, and then proceed to finish the Atlas. Remember, you don't need Protective Circuit unless you plan on playing in a communicated fashion more often than not. So for the General Ascension Atlas, I assume you simply went straight for the Kinetic. Obviously you want to grab this maximum recoil right here. But in the broader sense of what you can do, you have three options. One would be to go for the Slayer and the Archer, like for a quick change of pace between classes, and you can use both symbols, right? Then maybe make a little detour to this node and to this one. But ultimately it will boil down to if you go first for the Berserker or if you go for the Alchemist. So, considering, I imagine you would go for the Berserker first. Then your very best symbol is right here, and currently we only have one of those, and it's still gated via pink nodes. You see, like, I'm slowly approaching 30,000, and I don't have the Alchemist unlocked yet. So by the time I have maxed the Alchemist, I will probably land on like 25,000, and I will need to do the God form right here, because this unlocks at 30k prestige, at least when we have the patch. And then if I have the correct information, I will start seeing these pink nodes, at which point I will then be able to, you know, move through this for 2 pink nodes and get the best symbol. In the meanwhile, here is also Element of Surprise, the second one for me, and I have access to the Gunner and the Monk in relatively close proximity to the Alchemist. As you know, you want this maximum recoil anyway, so the left side is a bit more preferable in terms of raw effectiveness than the right side. Because, as I said, imagine when you go for the Berserker first, you then would still need to do all this distance, and this is what you see is already 2 weeks worth of caps. So, in my third week I will be able to unlock the Alchemist, this Element of Surprise, but if you were on the Berserker and decided it's time for Mark of Death, you would be in for like 1 to 1.5 months ride. Although caps do increase weekly, it's still a lot to do. So one option, go for the Berserker, then obviously you don't forget these two. Maybe grab the Knight, you don't need the symbol or not, but at least you have another class in case you decide you want to have queue times that aren't 1 hour per dungeon. You need a tank or a good support to do that. Okay, so second option is, as I said, Archer and Slayer, followed by maybe Necro. That way you have a lot of classes and access to a lot of like symbols, like this one. There should be one somewhere around here again. Here. Here's Lacerated Wound, Maximum Recoil, Ultimate Terrain. Well, that's like half the nodes, and this region is something you can use. So it boils down to if you want to if you prefer to play lots of classes, if you want to do the long run first to the alchemist, or if you really want to unlock the second best DPS class. In terms of maximum DPS, you would have Kinetic on the first spot and Berserker on the second. But it's up to you.